You tired of scrolling and seeing bad news? Well, here's good news from all around the world that nobody really talks about. Australia could become the first nation in the world to eliminate cervical cancer. Pandas are no longer considered at risk for extinction. That's one of the greatest success stories in wildlife conservation. Portugal is now opening Europe's first large elephant sanctuary for elephants rescued from circuses and zoos. The green sea turtle is no longer considered an endangered species. The Netherlands are closing prisons, and falling crime rates reduced the number of inmates since 2009 to more than 20 prisons have closed. Norway has done the unthinkable, becoming the first country in the world to achieve near zero deforestation rates. That shit look like lungs, right? Canada has passed a law that prohibits keeping large great apes and elephants in captivity. And some Dutch engineers created the world's largest vacuum cleaner, 600 meters long, which collects plastic from oceans and helps restore marine life. Follow for more good news, because the media won't tell you stuff like this.
Need some joy? Here's some good news from me and a couple of friends.
For the first time, California's state senate is being run by a woman of color.
Congress is reversing a bunch of the cuts to federal science programs that President Trump called for last year when planning the government's current budget. Some areas may even see a small increase.
Mackenzie Scott donates $45 million to the LGBTQ+ youth mental health nonprofit, The Trevor Project.
New York's Governor Kathy Hochul announced a partnership with Mayor Zohran Mamdani to provide free childcare for 2-year-olds in the city, with the state covering the full cost of the first 2 years of the initiative without raising any new taxes.
Abortion will stay legal in Wyoming after the state Supreme Court ruled that 2 laws barring the procedure violate the state constitution.
In a surprise move, senators of both parties agreed unanimously to erect a plaque honoring the officers who fought the mob at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Breaking from Trump's false narrative about what happened that day.
Within hours of Trump saying he would be honored to receive Maria Machado's Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Institute said its rules do not permit the passing on of its coveted prize to someone else. He ain't getting that prize. He ain't getting no Nobel Prize, baby. He ain't getting no Nobel Prize.
Solar provided more power to Texas's grid in 2025 than coal did, and that is the first time that has ever happened.
The fundraiser to support Renee Good's widow and family quickly raised $1.5 million. At that number, Renee's wife, Becca Good, capped the GoFundMe and redirected support to help others in need.
France has banned forever chemicals. Authorities will also regularly test the drinking water for all PFAS.
Congestion pricing in New York City has led to a measurable drop in traffic, and with it, a 22% decline in particulate pollution, according to a new study.
In a bipartisan effort, 2 members of the House of Representatives asked a federal judge to appoint an independent monitor to force the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files.
On January 1st, because the Biden-era Inflation Reduction Act, costs of some of the most expensive prescription drugs came down. 9 million seniors will save a total of $1.5 billion in annual out-of-pocket costs.
It has been a really hard news week, so here's some good news from the past 7 days, because I truly believe that acknowledging the good is what sustains us, gives us hope, and fuels us for the fight that lies ahead. So let's get into it. We saw millions of dollars in family planning funds restored that were withheld from Planned Parenthood. This was Title X family planning funds that federal officials had withheld from Planned Parenthood and some other health clinics since last spring and are critical in keeping the clinics open. South Carolina's governor called for free breakfast for all public school students across the state. A new bill in Vermont was introduced to aim to help people in mental health crises by embedding social workers in law enforcement agencies and passing new use of force laws. Governor Hochul and Mamdani announced a plan to make New York childcare universal through a plan that would begin by expanding childcare options for nearly 100,000 young children. New Mexico's governor will include a proposed ban on immigrant detention on the legislative agenda. It's called the Immigrant Safety Act, and it would prohibit public entities from working with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency or other federal agencies to house immigrant detainees in the state. San Francisco will now offer free child care to families earning less than $230,000, and Senator Durbin successfully passed a bill to combat non-consensual sexually explicit deepfake images. And lastly, but certainly not least, communities all over the country are showing up for their neighbors in truly beautiful and brave ways. Keep fighting, everyone. Happy Friday, and take a minute to acknowledge some good.
If you need a break from everything, here's a minute of just good news. A man just became the first double amputee to climb the highest peak on all 7 continents to boost disability awareness and inspire others to conquer their metaphorical mountains, with 46-year-old veteran Hari Buddha Magar finishing with Antarctica's Mount Vinson. And the tallest vertical farm in the world just opened in Singapore, which operates in a made-to-order model with retailers to avoid waste, has a redesigned lighting system using 30% less energy, and automatically detects crop issues to grow several types of lettuce on far less land. And the UK banned junk food ads on TV before 9 p.m. and completely online to protect and improve children's health and ultimately tackle childhood obesity, which is hopefully just the beginning of a trend of banning all harmful, misleading, and immoral ads from things like fossil fuels and vaping. And Torin Tague from our community started crocheting blankets for unhoused people and children in foster care.
You know, a lot of negative stuff has been going on recently, so let me bring you some good news. So a global plastic bag ban has reduced beach litter by 47%. China has built more solar power in the last 6 months than the world did in the entire last 2 years. The United States has blocked seafood imports that hurt whales and dolphins, which is in a step to protect even more marine wildlife. Surprising, because we have Trump. France has banned the manufacturing and the sale of PFAS, which helps protect the people on the planet from pollution. Kenya has fully eliminated sleep sickness as a public health threat. They have successfully handled this deadly disease. And this is a huge one. Costa Rica is now going to be powered 100% on renewable energy for the entire year. Insane work. Congrats to Costa Rica. Helsinki has had 0 road deaths in the past year thanks to lowering speed and speed bumps. Dutch engineers have created the longest vacuum cleaner, they say, which is over 600 meters long, and is deployed into the ocean to clean up, plastic material, trash, and stuff like that to help marine life. Italy is planning by 2027 to stop the culling of young chicks. 76% of new cars in Nepal are electric. Kind of cool. Now, I will be turning this into a series, so please like and follow for more.
Here's some good news you might have missed to start your 2026. Scientists in Japan just created a plant-based plastic that completely dissolves in salt water within hours without leaving any microplastics behind. The hole in the Antarctic ozone layer is the smallest it's been in 5 years, confirming Earth's protective shield is on track to full recovery. The largest wildlife crossing in North America just opened in Colorado, and both Democrats and Republicans are now pushing to make wildlife crossing funding permanent nationwide. Norway agreed there'll be no deep sea mining in the Arctic for the next 4 years, with the hope that eventually it will be for good. Britain set a new wind power record, generating enough electricity to power over 23 million homes, around 3/4 of the nation's housing. Coho salmon have returned to California's Russian River for the first time in over 30 years, thanks to improved fish passages, habitat restoration, and salmon rescue missions. The Democratic Republic of Congo banned all capture, trade, and possession of African grey parrots, one of Africa's biggest wildlife conservation wins. And Kenya just opened the world's largest wildlife sanctuary that's about twice the size of London to help save the critically endangered black rhinos.
I hope you guys enjoyed that dose of good news. It was definitely needed for me today. I feel like with all of this stuff going on, especially with ICE and all of the protests and everything, I think it was time to make a video with all of the good news that's happening around the world. And can we first start off with the pandas? The pandas are no longer on the brink of extinction. That is such good news. I've loved pandas ever since I was a child. But I mean, we have to fight for our species to be, thriving. And we have to make sure that they don't extinct, because each and every animal I feel like out there has a purpose to be a part of nature and our environment. And it's such a good thing to see. They're so cuddly and they're so cute. They are an animal. They're not little pets, so I know I shouldn't be saying that they're cute and cuddly, but I just can't help it. They are so adorable. So that is amazing news to hear about. And also the elephant sanctuary in Portugal. I think that is an amazing thing that they're doing to be able to help out animals that were probably abused while they were performing in circuses. And I think doing things like that should be something that we're hearing a lot more about, because we don't know what type of things are happening to the poor animals that are being used as our entertainment. To me, I get it. I went to a couple circuses as a child, but I kind of feel like we should abolish circuses. I just don't feel like children in this day and age really care about them. So I feel that we should make those things like completely obsolete and stop doing them and preserve and really care about all of the animals, not just elephants, but tigers. And I'm not sure if monkeys are still in circuses, but just any animal, I feel like they don't deserve to be our entertainment. Just my personal thoughts, but I'm glad to see that there's a place that they can go to, be able to be really looked after and cared for. Because like I said, I'm not saying all circus companies, I'm not sure what you would refer to them as, are abusing the animals or treating them poorly. But it would have to be something I'd research. But I feel that, you shouldn't be training a 1 ton. I don't know how many tons an elephant weighs, but they're not meant to be used as entertainment. We should be able to respect them and be able to observe them in a natural habitat. I did also hear about Mackenzie Scott donating the $45 million to the Trevor Project the other day on the radio, and I was like, wow, that's a huge fee. She has been donating so much money. This isn't her first time. I know the main thing that I've heard her donate to was Howard University, but she is donating all of Jeff's money, honey, and I don't blame her. Of course, is there probably some really good tax breaks for that? Of course, but it's still a good deed nonetheless. I always appreciate when people donate money in this magnitude because it's really huge. She could keep this money for herself and donate only $1 million. The fact that she's giving so much to all of these different charities, I think is really good, and also to universities as well. So it's really good on her that she's keeping this going and she didn't stop at just one big donation. She's doing it. It sounds like she's doing it every year. Maybe it is something she's doing throughout the year, but this is the latest that I've heard of. So I think that's just really amazing on her. I wonder if she's trying to stick it to Jeff, but I feel like she probably is just a huge philanthropist and is wanting to see the money go for good instead of for greed. Unlike a lot of these other billionaires out here. Also seeing the news of solar power supplying more power than coal to ERCOT in 2025. That is also surprising to me because Texas is a huge state. I don't know if ERCOT supplies all of Texas or just East Texas or just certain areas. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not going to lie, you guys. It's going to be put to the test again because at least here in the Dallas area, we are going to have like freezing rain, wintry mix, whatever you want to call it. I think there's a day, maybe Saturday or Sunday, where we may even have snow. So it's going to be put to the test. I mean, I know we're in 2026 now, but we're going to see. We didn't have really any issues last year, but nothing will beat 2021 or 2022. I don't know how I don't remember what year this was. I want to say this was in 2021. Don't quote me, you guys. Anyone who lives in the Dallas area, if you see this, let me know down below. I'll go look it up or look through my memories because it's in there. Because actually, funny enough, a video that I took of it snowing about a year ago, it was crazy. That day it was so much snow, but the day that I looked at it on, it was like 72 degrees outside. You could have went outside in wore shorts that day. It's just so funny. I thought we were gonna have like a warm winter, but the weather said, here, hold my beer. And a couple weeks later, the snow is going to be back, which I'm so surprised about. So I am so upset that I didn't look more into this, but it looks like they did have a GoFundMe for Renee Good's fiance and her family. I am so disappointed in myself for not trying to look into this. I heard nothing about this, or else I would have donated, but it's such a good thing that they were able to raise over $1 million. I don't know why this was not more publicized. Of course, I may not have been looking in the right places to be informed of this, but if I heard about this dang Cinnabon girl getting all of this fundraiser money, it wasn't a GoFundMe. I should have saw this like right away, but it's closed and they are redirecting people to donate to other causes out there. So I think that's a good thing. Hopefully with this senseless tragedy, the people that were willing to donate are helping out her family in a good way, because it's probably going to be a lot of money for burial costs. Good on them to be receiving that money. This is who needs the GoFundMes. Sanctuary for the rhinos in Kenya. Again, such a good thing that a lot of countries are starting to think about the conservation of our endangered species. Just like I said in the beginning, because our animals are super important. We have to take care of them and protect them and give them the type of environment in which they thrive and, they continue to reproduce, and those particular species won't have to be considered endangered anymore, and we could focus on spreading that to where we could save more and more particular species, and we might be able to consider the marine life as well, because I want to say in the last good news video, I think in the last one it did mention the pandas, or I think maybe as I was looking through videos one mentioned it. I don't know if I included it, but sea turtles are no longer endangered as well. So I think just the fact that it's so many more species are coming out of that particular category, I think it's amazing. But wanted to give you guys this video today, but I appreciate you guys for watching if you made it this far, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye. See you later.